Hey guys, this is Liz Canada from Sleek Lens. Today I have a short tutorial on the Through the Woods workflow. I'm going to be talking to you guys about HDR improvement or high dynamic range improvement and how you can kind of improve the range between the lights and darks in your photographs, mainly to fix underexposed images or underexposed landscape images, because often we find that this is the case where colors get washed out or things get backlit and there's too many shadows and you no longer can see the detail or the beauty of the landscape. So I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this using the presets that come with this workflow. So I'm going to be starting with this photograph right here, and I'm only going to make a couple adjustments to it. So one of the best presets I think that comes in the set is the base, the high dynamic range. So you go ahead and click it and automatically it greatly improves the photograph, as you can see. We can now see all the detail and the shadows and the color as well. However, this HDR preset is really nice, but it does kind of, in certain situations, I guess, overblow the clarity or sharpness and color. So once I've applied this base, I'm just going to go ahead and tweak the preset using the tools that come with Lightroom. So as you can see, when we've applied that base, we've gone ahead and turned our highlights all the way down and our shadows all the way up. So I'm just going to kind of adjust them just a little bit, and I'm going to be turning the saturation down just slightly. I'm going to be turning the blacks down a little bit, but turning the whites up. I'm going to go into the detail tab right here, and the sharpen is up really high, so I am going to lower it because I want it to be just slightly more realistic. There is a chance that sometimes when you apply HDR effects to your photographs, they become unrealistic looking. So it's kind of like a balance about using the HDR to bring back the detail into your photograph, but not overblowing it so it looks unrealistic. Unless, of course, that's what you're going for. But right now, that's not what I'm going for. So I'm going to go into my color tab right here, and I'm just going to slightly turn down the yellow and the orange, but I am going to turn up the green and the blue a little bit as well. Alright, so I've applied one preset and made a couple different adjustments in the tabs over here. And I'm going to go ahead and put them next to each other. So here's the before and after. So as you can see, it took me just about 2 minutes to do this, and already we've improved the photograph. You can get the detail back in the grass here and the color. The sunset is greatly improved, especially the color, and the detail up in the sky and the water down here as well. So moving on to the second photograph. So I'm not going to be using the HDR base preset, but I am going to be using another base. It's called Base Punchy, and it actually does kind of add a little bit of an HDR effect back into the photograph. So we are sharpening it, adding color, and improving the range between the lights and darks. And then I'm going to be applying a tone preset to this. I'm going to be using the Warm It Up. And then just to add more clarity, I'm going to use this polish preset and add clarity. And one more polish preset, I'm going to do a color pop. Actually, I'm sorry, that's a tone and tint preset, so color pop. And then I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to be adjusting again. So I'm going to turn down the clarity just a tiny bit. And I'm going to go to the detail and turn the sharpening down as well. Alright, so here's the before and after. As you can see, we've greatly improved the color, kind of given the photograph a warm tone, and really brought back the detail, especially in the water and the grass, and also as well as in the mountains. And all it was a few one-click edits. I just stacked a couple presets on top of each other, and it greatly improved the photograph. So if you're into landscape photography, this is definitely a good workflow to have. The tools in here are great. They're really easy edits. They kind of make things go a little bit quicker. Got a third photograph here. I'm going to be using another base preset that has a similar HDR effect, only it's a little bit more subtle. I'm going to be using the morning light to apply light to this, and I am on top of this just because I want more HDR, going to apply the same HDR high dynamic range base, which for me has kind of blown out the color too much. It almost looks unrealistic. So I am going to go down to my tone and tint, and I'm going to choose the desaturate, which is going to kind of take away some of that excess color. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to make some adjustments again. So I am turning the sharpening down again. And I'm going to be turning the highlights up just a little bit. And the shadows down a tiny bit as well. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to turn my green up just a little bit and the yellow as well. Alright, so here's the before and after. So we've kind of take a photo that where the sun is backlighting and the shadows, we've lost a lot of detail, and we've kind of got that detail back as well as the color. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short tutorial on how to kind of use the HDR or high dynamic range effects that come with the Through the Woods workflow that will help enhance the light and dynamic range of your landscape photographs. And I hope you guys can try it out for yourselves.